Hi friends, so welcome to the first in a series of videos that I'm going to be recording. By now, if you follow Tim Holtz or you follow any of his brands, you will have known that I was chosen to make something for the Christmas Ideology Live, and I was one, super honored, two, so stunned, and three, really ready to play with Christmas, because unless you're new here, if you've been here for any amount of time, then you know that Christmas is my jam. So what I decided to do, because I knew that filming process videos for these projects would be completely beyond me, because I'm not like a mixed media pro, and I figured trying to film process videos while I was trying to figure out what I was doing was just a bad idea. So what we're going to do for my three projects is I'm going to show you the project, take you through a kind of deep look. This is going to be attached to a coordinating blog post. So the coordinating blog post will have, photos and like a write-up of everything that I'm telling you. But just kind of show you the project, show you how it worked, talk you through my intention for the project, and then how it was executed. And that way, if you're interested in a deeper look than you would get in Tim's live video, I'm here for you because I made them. So without further ado, I'm trying to get this out of the light because there's acetate here, but we might just have to deal with the glare. But without further ado, let's jump into the first project I made for the live. Okay, so what I have on my desk is everything that I use for this project, and that way I'll be able to tell you exactly where things are and what I did. So to start, I started with an etc. tag, and this is there's going to be lots of packaging here, guys, sorry. But this is what the etc. tags look like. So they're just thick, sturdy, thick board, and they can be used for a collage or for a base. So that's what the base of my project is. And then I covered it with pattern paper from the Noel paper stash, which is just, I've ripped into mine a little bit, but these patterns are so beautiful. I'm actually saving these for December daily because there's a few patterns in here that I wanted to use that I didn't use. I'm going to be die cutting and using this for my December daily project, so that'll be happening. So the first thing I did was I covered it in pattern paper, which you kind of can see. So I used this white snowflake paper. I'm hoping you guys can see that. And then I went in with the collage paper. This is the Ideology collage paper in Holly. And I like how it had these pops of color. I'm not a fan of grunge, and I'm not really one of those vintage users. So I was really excited for the Christmas collection because I knew it was going to have bright pops of reds and greens, and it did not disappoint. So then I went in and I collaged that collage paper on my background. And if I open this, you guys have seen the project already, so you know that it opens. But if I open this, you'll be able to see better back here. So there's the paper I used, and then there's the collage paper in the top and the bottom. Then what I did was I wrapped it in fabric tape because one, I wanted to protect my seams, and two, I just thought it would be fun to have this black houndstooth pattern. So then I wrapped it in the fabric tape, and this is what the fabric tape looks like. So it's a 2-pack. I've used a lot of mine, that's why my rolls are so small, but it's a 2-pack, and I used the black houndstooth one of it. So that was the base of my project. So I let that dry for about a half hour after I did all those layers, and I started working on the door piece. So the door is using a hinge. These are the Ideology hinges. Everything you see is probably going to be covered in paint because I was super messy by the time this was done. But these are the Ideology hinges. So I painted the hinges, and I used the distress paint in Candied Apple to paint these hinges. And I attached the hinge to my baseboard frame. That's what this green frame is. And I chose not to go in and grunge or distress anything. I liked things as they were because, again, I was really interested in the bright pops of color. So I went in with this frame, and I took one of these etc. trims, and these trims are the same thickness of the etc. tag. And so what I had to do was double my trim because I put a bunch of photos underneath here. So I doubled my trim. I glued it, back to back with some Collage medium, which was the adhesive I used for 90% of my project was Collage medium. And then I went in again and collaged the same snowflake paper and a tiny bit of that Holly collage paper. That's that pop of green. And then these hinges just have little brads on them. So I attached the etc. tag, the etc. trim to the baseboard frame using the brads, and then I just secured them down with glue just to make sure that they weren't going to be moving after I painted them. And then so once these two were attached, I worked on my door. Now I die cut some of these leaves out of this metallic craft stock. I used the green out of the metallic confections pack. That's where I found this green paper. And then the dyes I used were the Sizzix Thinlits, and it's called Holiday Greens Mini. So I die cut some leaves out of these greens. And then I went on embellishing my door. Now, if you guys know me, you know I like layers. So I started with just layering some of these leaves, and then underneath the leaves I put, and I'm using pieces from the Layers Christmas pack and the Ephemera Christmas pack. And so the layers are like glossy and they're thicker, and the Ephemera is just kind of paper. That's the difference. So I use the Ephemera pack and the Layers pack for my embellishments, but I just layered. I love this big Santa piece. So there's some, I think this was like a holly branch underneath. And then I put the leaves, and I added some stars that I also painted. I don't have the stars on my desk, but they're called stars in the adornments. They're metal adornments and they're stars. And I painted them with the same candied apple, and I think I used pine needles for the green. And that was how I finished up my door. The 25, these leaves are so delicate. I gotta be nicer to them. The 25 was also in the Layers pack, and I love that it came with numbers because you guys know I'm a huge number freak, so I love that it came with numbers. So once that was done, I also just went in and covered this with trim tape because I didn't like how ugly it was from the brads with the hinges and everything else, and I just thought it made it look nicer if I covered it with hinge tape. And then I put some acetate, and this is my window. So underneath, before I put my photos, there is another piece of ephemera here that my photos kind of cover up. And then I took some of the black twine that came with the mummy cloth, and I wrapped it 3 times around my board. And then I took the festive adornments, the poinsettia I painted with red paint, and then one of the pine cones I dipped in collage medium, and then I dipped it in rock candy glitter to kind of give it that like frosted, snowy look. I hope the camera's picking up and you see all this stuff. And then the other pine cone I left unaltered, and I also put another one of those leaf sprigs back here. And then I made a photo pullout, which is classic Tashi, because I wanted to put photos in here. This is actually attached with reusable double-sided tape. I don't want to pull it out because I'm worried that I won't be able to put it back in. But it's designed so that you can pull this out and change whatever your flip out is year after year. And it's a wall piece, so you can hang it, and then you have your photos hanging it on the inside. For my closure, I used a countdown brad, the one that's a 25, and a little bit of elastic, and I stapled the elastic to the back of the etc. tag. So you see, it's kind of anchored back here, and I just secured these things with trim tape. I don't, this is the back of the tag, so it doesn't matter that it's like not pretty because it's going on the back of, this is going against the wall anyway. So I secured it with some staples and then covered it with some fabric tape, and this is how the door stays closed. And then I stuck a clip on it. These are the vintage clips, the large ones. So I stuck a clip on it so that you can hang it from the wall with this hook. And then I used some of the velvet trims. That's what these are. I tied a little bow, and then I added the Adornments Christmas words. I added this piece that said Wonder, and I just hot glued it on for a little bit of metallic because there were metallics all over it, and I thought that balanced it out. So you guys, that's my first project. I figured it feels like a nice mix of my style and the Ideaology brand, which is what I was going for these projects. I wanted to make something that felt like authentic to me, but also got to play with all the mixed media. So mixed media was like how I approached crafting. After planning, I went into mixed media, and then I discovered scrapbooking. So it felt really good to get back into making messes and getting covered with gesso and paint again. So here's my first project. Again, I will link the coordinating blog post in the description box, as well as a list of all the products I use if you're interested in anything I used here. So that's it, you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments of this project, and I will see you next time. So till next time, keep it crafty and have the best day, and I'll see you around. Bye!